not a supporter of the right wing. I voted Conservative for one reason. Oh my gosh, the gun buyback program. Do not get me started on that. I hate it. We haven't seen what Carney's done, and he's not very vocal about what he does in office. And like some of the stuff that we do see isn't necessarily related to policy.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't say that the Liberal Party currently is not necessarily the problem. I think it's just the management that it's under is what the problem is. Like, because I fall left, and I just think necessarily that it would be, yeah.
Okay, so do you know how policy is made in the party? Are you aware of how that works?
Yeah, the House of Commons debates and stuff like that. Now,
No, I mean like the party. So party policy, actually, there's a national council of like all these federal parties. There's a national council, and they come up with the policy that the party has to implement, right? And then the prime minister and his cabinet are basically puppets to that policy.
Right.
So the policies that we're seeing enacted, excuse me, they are the policies of the National Council of the Liberal Party.
Right.
So,
I mean, not to say that it's necessarily that the Liberals have like total control over the House of Commons with that kind of stuff in the policy, but like you do have like the NDP siding with them, and I think right now they're not necessarily in a good spot to help Canada because we haven't seen any proper push for anything that's like helped us in terms of like taxes or tariffs and all that sort of stuff. Like I'm not well versed, but like obviously the changes, there hasn't been a lot of change that has been well known with Carney right now.
yeah, why do you think he's spending so much? Like $100 billion deficit is what we're slated to have this year.
I'm not sure actually, because like again, I don't know too much about what Carney does, and I don't really necessarily follow the news. But I think right now, considering the debt that we're in, I don't know why we're making more spending if you say that we are spending. What is he spending it on?
We don't actually know a whole lot what the Liberal Party is saying. They have a lot of slogans. You know, they slam the Conservatives for slogans, but they have a lot of slogans. And one of the things is that they're making a generational investment. They tout that constantly. Generational investment. And they're actually telling people of my generation, your generation, that, oh, we're going to have to make sacrifices. Right? So, like, basically more inflation, more debt, which is not actually going to help the economy.
Right.
So what they're doing is they're actually devaluing our currency. And that's a horrible thing. But it does make us more dependent on them.
Right.
So I look at them with a really skeptical eye, because if they are taking my money and literally peeing it down the drain, in essence, and deflating it, or inflating its value, but deflating the value of each dollar, it really kind of angers me, because that's future generations' money. Like, it's going to destroy our country.
And like, the Canadian dollar is worth not a lot right now. It's like 72 cents, 71 cents the last time I checked.
Yeah.
And for a period of time, I remember as a kid it being like worth more than a US dollar. So like, it's been devalued a lot over the course of who's been in office and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, necessarily, do you think that the Conservative Party is better than the Liberals at the moment?
I think so, yeah. They have a lot of really good policies that they're saying that they should implement, and they're really going hard on the Liberals for not implementing these policies and removing the bad bills that have been passed. A lot of bad bills have been passed, like a tanker ban, a cap on our oil production. I think these are really bad policies because they're just destructive to our economy. But then all sorts of really bad stuff, like too much immigration and like the debt spending, of course, yeah. So I think they will be a better option, absolutely.
Now, I voted Conservative for one reason, and one of Poilievre's promises was to push for the development of oil refineries, because we don't refine our own oil here in Canada, that we have to sell it to the States to get it to refined, and we're losing value on that.
Yes, we are.
And that was one of the only reasons that I did vote Poilievre. However, again, I'm not a supporter of the right wing, and I think the way it's been going is that I've been kind of pushed to vote right, which is not something I necessarily agree with. Now, what are some of the policies that specifically that Poilievre has been advocating for that Carney hasn't been implemented?
Okay, so one of the big ones for me is Bill C-69, which is basically, the Conservatives call it a No Pipelines Act.
Right.
Which it creates so much regulation to the building of pipelines that we can't actually build new pipelines. So oh gosh, why can't I remember the name? But there was a pipeline slated to go from Alberta to Ontario and out west.
I remember, yeah.
So that one was actually, it was like being built. There was stuff happening, and then it got canceled because the regulation was too much because of this bill C-69. So the Conservative Party wants to repeal that bill, and then the gun buyback program they want to end. I mean,
oh my gosh, the gun buyback program. Do not get me started on that. Now,
do you like it or no?
I hate it. Okay, we're spending so much money on something that is not slated to work. The way that firearms work within Canada is that they're already heavily regulated.
Absolutely.
And I think that the way that we're structuring it, where people won't get reimbursed, or there's not a chance that people will get reimbursed even though they just gave up thousands of dollars worth of firearms, it's like, why are we even doing this? Now, when you have your own defense minister basically saying that this isn't going to work and then has him changing his opinions on that 24 hours later, it just doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just does not make sense to me. Now, obviously, there might be a chance that some people do want to get rid of the firearms that they do not necessarily need, but we don't have the infrastructure for that currently. So why are we spending a ton of money when we don't have the infrastructure set up? When provinces aren't necessarily agreeing with going through with this program. Like, not every province wants to do this. And personally, as a Canadian and knowing firearm owners, the way that firearms are being regulated and the way that they're being handled by currently the Liberal government is not a good approach. Now, I know people get a little upset when I may say this, but firearm deaths aren't caused by legal firearm owners. They're caused by illegal firearm owners. So why is the Liberal government banning firearms for legal firearm owners? It's just a political bargaining chip, and this is what gets me very upset. So it's one of the reasons I don't vote Liberal. It's just currently the Liberal government is not in a good spot to vote for. I would vote if we had someone like John Chrétien back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I gotta go eat. Thank you.